Everybody, and welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I'm Kelly Hogan, and I'm joined by my friend and group member Vanda today. Hi, Vanda. How are you?
I'm doing good. Blessed to be here. Thank you.
Good. So one day in class, Vanda was sharing some updates and a little bit about her story. And I don't know how long ago this has been, but I said, I would love for you to tell everybody this. And you said, yeah, we'll do it sometime. And then the time came for me to record, and I think you were out of town or busy. So I'd said, okay, well, maybe next time. Well, we've tried a couple times. And this time you said, okay, let's do it. So tell everybody sort of how you got started on carnivore and part of your story.
I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I grew up playing sports, rodeoing, cowgirl stuff. I was always active and very fit when I was younger. Fast forward, college, freshman 15, freshman 30. Yeah, you get the picture. Then when I was 36, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And at that point, I was at about 200 pounds. And I'm 5'4.5". So that wasn't working very well for me. But in the meantime, before the diagnosis, I had done Weight Watchers and, all of the diets that you can imagine. And they would work for a little while and then they didn't work anymore. And so I kind of made a pact with myself, okay, once this whole cancer thing is over, then I'm going to do my best to get the weight off, keep it off, which we've all made those promises to ourselves 1,000 times. But I don't know, for some reason it's different when you're in that situation. After chemo, I started running just here at my house and at work I had encountered someone who was a triathlete and she inspired me. She's like, "Oh, you could do triathlons." I'm thinking, "No, I can't. I don't know. I mean, I can swim, but I can't competitively swim." Anyway, fast forward, working out all the time, mostly cardio, swimming, biking, running, not weight training, and eating healthy. Because, I had coaches saying, this is how you should eat if you're training, which it was heavy carb. So, initially, the diets they worked because I was training 20 hours a week and eating chicken and fish, lean chicken and fish and vegetables and what they tell you, oh, this is a healthy diet. And so the weight came off. I lost 80 pounds like that. Um, and it was just willpower, but I looked like muscle. I didn't have muscle mass. I was just emaciated basically. And then I started training harder for an Ironman and I started gaining weight.
Oh,
So my Saturday might look like, hey, I'm going to go to the mountains and bike 90 miles today and then hop off and leave my bike on my car and go run 10 or 15. And I was gaining weight. And that's
oh,
when I tell people you cannot out exercise a bad diet. And so then I'm going to my coaches going, what am I going to do? Because grams on, when you're being competitive, grams on a bike make a difference. And I'm gaining pounds. And I'm just like, and of course, even my doctors would say, it's calories in, calories out. And the whole time, I'm just bloating up, swelling, my face is swollen, carb face. And I'm just eating what the professionals are telling me to eat. And I'm just getting heavier. And then the frustration, the mental game of that, is, well, if it's calories in, calories out, and I'm training, but I'm still gaining weight, I've got to cut calories more.
mm.
So I'm cutting and cut. And at that point, I wasn't tracking, but I was eating exactly what I was told to eat. And then I got to where I wasn't even eating what I was supposed to eat. Well, I had destroyed my metabolism initially. And so the frustration of that just was overwhelming me because I'm like, I'm doing everything to the letter that they're telling me to do. Then I hired a keto coach. And she told me, she's like, you have to stop, like stop all the cardio. And I'm thinking, none of this is what anybody would ever tell you.
Right.
So I quit racing and cut it back to just cardio was going up and down the stairs to my office. That's it.
What did that
So,
do to your weight? Going from all that cardio to then just not.
well, it's interesting. And people look at me like I've grown a third eye when I say this, but I went very heavy fat and I was eating, sticks of Kerrygold butter and very heavy fat. Well, I lost a little bit of weight. When I say a little bit, I'm talking 6 or 8 pounds over about 6 months.
Okay.
But my activity level had gone to nil and I'm eating all this fat and I'm not gaining weight. So I am at least losing a little bit, a quarter of a pound here, a quarter pound there for several months. And so, you know, everything that we've been told in conventional thinking, you're just like, this cannot be happening.
Right.
This makes absolutely zero sense when I think about everything I've been taught, everything I've been told. You know,
Yes.
on the keto, I started checking my blood sugar, checking my ketones, and I was eliminating things and saying, okay, today for lunch, I'm going to have whatever I was going to have, but I would separate it out. Say I was going to have broccoli with my lunch. I would check my blood sugar and then I would eat just the broccoli
Oh, I see. I've
and
done
then
that.
wait 30 minutes. Yes. And check my blood sugar and then wait an hour and check my blood sugar. And these vegetables that are supposed to be so good for me were sending my blood sugar through the roof. And I'm just like, and I had done enough studying to know if my blood sugar's high, there's no way. I mean, here pours in the insulin. I'm not going to lose weight. So that's when, and this has been, quite a while back, but I started realizing this isn't working either because I was super strict. I mean, discipline in my mind, mind over matter, and discipline equals success. And I stayed disciplined and it still was just not working for me. Okay, then in comes Kelly Hogan and her YouTube videos, wearing her little super cape and mask and all the things. Um, but I started just like binge watching your stuff. And so here I am with you now.
And when did you first start carnivore? When did you find the channel and start eating only meat?
I joined your groups in January. I had been trying, and we're talking, this has been years from where I started this story to where we are today. So even to January of 25, I had been struggling and fighting it tooth and nail. So I had heard about carnivore, and my husband and I had done lion diet. We jumped in with lion. And that's great for us because we have cattle. And so we can eat our own beef and we know exactly what we're getting. Fantastic. But you know how that goes when you're doing it with someone and they're like, but I can't blame him for not wanting to stay with it because that kind of food doesn't affect him the way it affects me.
I see.
You know,
So you and your husband started together, but then he was like, you know what, I don't need to do this. You do
yes.
need to do this, but it was like, okay, then I guess we're both done here. Is it sort of like that?
Well, I had my best friend. She was doing it with us. And so the three of us were doing it, and like the first month, it was amazing. It worked well, but then he kind of jumped off that wagon, and um, eventually we all jumped off.
Yeah.
And this was a couple years ago. So I joined your group starting in January, and it just, I don't know, it gave me the shot in the arm that I needed to stay consistent and hang in there with you guys and learn more. And my best friend who was doing the lion diet with us, her daughter and son-in-law, he's a doctor, and they're totally committed to health and fitness the right way, like the way you say to do it. They're carnivore, and it is,
Oh,
yes, and I totally respect their opinions. And he's not, he's like a Sean Baker guy. He's like a Dr. Barry guy. He's not a conventional doctor. Them being on board with that and raising their family that way, that's enough.
all right. So far, you've gone the total all-out exercise route.
Yes.
The fact that you were working that hard and gaining just breaks my heart. That sounds so miserable. Then you went high fat keto, cut out the cardio. The fact that you did not pile on weight is remarkable because people who are injured, they're used to exercising hours and hours a day, and then they're injured. They will typically gain very quickly because your body just can't metabolize food in the same way without that much movement.
Right.
That's, and you did lose 6 to 8 pounds, which you
Yep.
were losing before. That's awesome. Okay. Then that still wasn't quite doing the trick. There were still some issues, but January, you started carnivore. So what's life been like for these 8 to 9 months?
My cattle are afraid. They're like, she's looking at us like that. We're next.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Not really. I love them and I treat them very well. And I'm so thankful that the Lord gave them to us, you know,
Yes.
so we can, I mean, that they're here for us to be able to fuel ourselves and do what we're supposed to be doing. So
Right.
sorry.
Oh, that's good. Cows are a blessing. And the people who I think love cows the most are the ranchers who probably get the most hate from non-meat eaters when they've probably never even petted a cow. Whereas y'all spend all day taking care of these beautiful creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, they've never had a brand new newborn baby in their house on the back porch when it was born below zero temperature outside, and you found them freezing, and you bring them in your house to warm them up and get them up right enough so that they can stand up and nurse and all of that. They've never done that, but they think that we like being out there when it's 0 degrees. Oh, hate there. That's complete love.
Right. Yeah, if you're blow drying a baby cow on your back porch, you love it. That's
Yes, that's right.
okay. All right. So tell me about the last several months.
I might have been to a couple of the first meetings, the Zoom calls in the group, and they were great. I loved the Facebook group, and I learned so much, you know, and I do a lot of research on my own, but I really enjoy hearing other people's stories and what they're doing. And you can look in the group and learn so much.
Yes, I love learning from doctors and books and studies, but I really love learning from people in real time who are
Yeah.
experiencing something and sharing protocols that they're doing and sharing their results and asking questions. I just think it is the coolest way to learn from each other.
Yes. So, one thing about in January, I had kind of made up my mind I wasn't going to just go off the scale because my sister-in-law's like, girl, you can't, I don't ever get on the scale. I thought, well, I'm getting on the scale. But so January 1, I get on the scale. But the saving grace was I took close up, and you've probably seen them in the group, but I took up close up pictures of my face and of my back and my body in a bathing suit. And I am so thankful that I did that. I didn't like get the tape out and measure myself, but I had these pictures to compare. And even a close up of my face from day 1 to day 5 or 7, you can already see the inflammation leaving my eyelids, my jowls, just in that short a period of time. And I mean, I'm just like, I would put them side by side and show them to people. I'm like, this is 5 or 7 days. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. Are you kidding me? And they're like, well, why? And I'm like, I go the Dr. Chafee route and say, because plants are trying to kill us. That's why. And then they really look at you like you're crazy. But the pictures have been because I could get on the scale and not really see much. But I can get those pictures side by side and look at them, and there is no doubt. And anybody that I've showed them to is like, oh my stars, you're aging backwards.
Awesome.
And then a lady at the gym, a new girl, yesterday, she's like, how old are you? Are you in your 30s? And I'm like, I think she's just wanting to get out of the burpees I'd put on the for the for the workout. But um
You look so good. And have you already said your age, if you don't mind?
no, I'm 52. So,
You really
yeah,
do.
thank you. Well, thank you.
All right.
Literally,
So January, you've shared that weight has been such a struggle, and I love that the scale has not been a daily like, oh no, it's not going
yeah,
down the way I wanted. The
right,
photos, I think a snug pair of pants, measurements, even a body composition scale, all more helpful than just how much does it weigh. The question of how much does it weigh applies to almost nothing in life, right? Like, wow, I found this suitcase
that's
full of
right.
something and nobody wants to know, but how much does it weigh? And you're like, what's in it? Is it what
Yes,
is our body? Are we talking muscle? Is it mass? Are your bones getting more dense? Are our organs getting more healthy and dense? Are we more hydrated? Like there's so many better questions than how much does it weigh? It's so silly.
right.
Okay, so you focused on other things, but weight wise, has anything changed since January?
Okay, so I have initially in the beginning it was slow, slow, slow. And then it was like all of a sudden it started happening faster, which kind of is a bad thing because it makes you want to get on the scale more. But I'm not, that's not my barometer for success because, I get up in the morning and I'm ready to go do whatever it is I want to do and not just feel weighted down. So the scale has moved 25 pounds. People are looking at me and going, what are you doing? I mean, I want to be healthy and strong and be able to do the things I do. My workouts have not changed since January. My workouts haven't changed, but the results I'm seeing from those workouts have changed. So I see muscle growing on my body and other people are seeing it now. And I'm just like, at 52, sarcopenia should be kicking in here. And it's not. I'm gaining muscle. I'm seeing the results now, not only in the way I feel, but in my muscles, which
Awesome.
is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you own a gym, and before you were at the gym, and you're kind of like, people see me here all the time. And I think you said to me, they probably think she should be looking better by now. But now you're like actually able to put on the muscle to reflect the exact same work you were doing before. I think that is really exciting. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
do all the work and feel like nothing is happening. And you're right. After age 50, it is harder. Well, I've heard some people say it is not necessarily harder to gain muscle, but people tend to stop working at it. But it certainly doesn't tend to get easier after age 50 to put on muscle. So kudos. That's really exciting.
Unless you're eating meat, then it's easier to put on muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
All right. So we're down 25 pounds. We're putting on muscle mass now. You're no longer starving and doing cardio 20 hours a week. Are there any non-scale victories that you've experienced?
Yes. So I had my first knee surgery when I was, I think, 15.
Oh, wow.
And it's been a struggle ever since then. And then I had a reconstruction when I was 16 or 17. But anyway, they don't want to give me a new joint in that knee. Back when I was 40, they were like, you really need a knee replacement, but you're too young because if we give you one now, you're going to need another one in 20 years. So then when I was 60, that whole thing. So they're like, we really need to put this off. So I will just say that knee joint is better. And
Oh,
people say, that can't be because that was cartilage in there. You can't be regrowing cartilage or whatever. Well, I beg to differ. I had gotten to the point where even if I was just on my feet for a long time, my knee the next day would be swollen up. And I'm not talking about, oh, I went and ran 3 or 5 miles. I was just walking a lot, doing what more than normal, it would swell up. So I'm not having that issue now. My complexion is better.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sleeping better.
great. Yeah, your skin looks fantastic. And your sleep is better?
My sleep is better. We started mouth taping, and I love that.
Me too. Yes, absolutely.
One thing I haven't started yet, and I probably should, are the blue blocking glasses, but I'm sleeping better. So that's another thing that, I think is very important is people don't understand. You have to sleep. You have to get in bed. You have to turn off those devices because you can do everything right. And if you're messing around and not going to sleep, you're not giving your body what it needs. It's like some people walk around with this flag of, oh, I only need this much sleep. You can tell yourself all day long. It's going to catch up with you eventually. And it's already catching up. They just don't know it yet.
I agree.
So,
And instead,
um,
they can put people in a calorie deficit, two groups, both in a calorie deficit. And the group who is in the sleep deprived group, which typically in studies means 5 hours of sleep. And the group, I mean, that's brutal, right? The group who was getting plenty of sleep, which in most studies means at least 7 hours of sleep. So we're only talking a couple of hours here difference. Both on the same calorie deficit, both on the same exercise routine. This group will not drop body fat, they will lose muscle. And this group can keep their muscle and drop body fat. And it's not food. We have,
isn't that something?
it is. We have to have sleep. So the fact that you're sleeping better and eating, obviously, world's most amazing diet, no wonder you're able to put on muscle better. That's fantastic. If anybody wonders why in the world would you mouth tape, if you're somebody like my husband who is a natural nasal breather, he does not snore. There's probably no reason for him to mouth tape. I've never heard him startle himself awake, no apnea, but I am a very natural mouth breather. And I did still snore, even at a totally normal weight. And I did still startle myself awake sometimes. I didn't know I was. I wasn't awake to know, but James said all night long you kind of jump. I'm like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. So if we are breathing through our mouths, we're getting subpar, poor quality air, and our nitric oxide levels are lower. And I used to get leg cramps. And then I started taping my mouth shut, so I had to breathe through my nose. Nitric oxide goes up, leg cramps went away. I'm no longer startling in my sleep, no longer snoring because my mouth's taped shut. And I don't talk in my dreams anymore, which James appreciates because I was quite a talker. And I used to have to wake up to use the bathroom almost every single night, at least once. It got rid of that too. Okay, any other non-scale victories?
The confidence that you get when you are doing the right things and they're working versus feeling beat down by doing what you're being told by the experts to do and it's not working, that is a daily whipping. And to have to take that beating every day and just go, what else can I do? I've done everything I can imagine and here I am. Um, but now I'm like, I'm doing what Kelly says to do. And here we are. So I just want to like shout it from the rooftops.
I mean, that's why we're here. We just want people to know you don't have to keep eating next to nothing, getting told calories in, calories out, running, 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 gaining weight, getting inflamed, not sleeping. Like there's a better way. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Few questions. Do you tend to eat once a day, twice, 3 times a day?
Usually twice a day. Now there are days that I get up and I had done intermittent fasting as well. And but there are days that I get up and I think, you know what? I'm just gonna have some steak for breakfast, and I do. But usually the busy of life, I don't usually get up and have breakfast, but I have really good lunch, really good dinner. I should clarify that I don't have anything to lunch because sometimes I have coffee with heavy whipping cream in it in
Okay.
the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm completely fasted till noon.
Okay. What are some of your most common meals? What do you typically eat?
Usually beef.
Beef.
But, I have beef. So beef is easy for me because I have a ton of it. Maybe once every couple weeks I'll have some eggs. So not a lot. And I'll do some cheese occasionally. I do like I'll just on a busy day throw some hamburger meat in the crock pot and let it cook all day and then throw a stick or two of Kerrygold butter in there and cook it and then have I laugh and say it's meat soup and that's what it is, but it's so good, and it's easy.
Yeah.
We grill a lot. Just cook on the grill and I'll do roasts and stuff in the crock pot too. But sometimes I get a platter out that's this big and put hamburger patties and steak and fajita meat and cook it all. And then I don't have to cook for several days.
Do you add much fat? You said a little cream in your coffee. Do you add much fat or is it mostly just the meat?
Well, when we take ours to the processor, I tell them,
Mhm.
don't cut the fat off of that meat. So when we get it, you can't even imagine how fatty it is. And even our hamburger meat, we tell them give us the fat. So we don't have to add a lot, but I'm a sucker for some good butter.
Yeah.
So,
Great. Okay, you've told me that you don't track, so we don't know what your macros or calories are. You just know you're eating enough to feel energized at the gym, to do what you need to do, to sleep well, to lift well. A great sign that somebody is eating enough is if they can sleep through the night and have energy to do some walking and lift weights, and you can progressively increase that weight. That is a great sign. So, without a tracking app, I feel like it's working for you, right?
well, yes. And when you asked me that question, I thought, I, my answer really is I did so much tracking back then. I tracked every morsel that went in my mouth. Not only that, I was testing my blood sugar before everything I ate and after 30 minutes, then an hour after, and logging. Like I have a book with pages and pages and pages of that stuff in there. And I'm like, I'm over that. When I get to the point where I feel like I'm not going to be successful where I'm at, I'll start tracking.
That
And
makes
I'm happy to. I mean, I hear you talk about the TDEE and all of that. And I'm happy to do it. But right now,
Why
I don't
would
need to.
that's right.
Right. Because I am so over all of that for
Yeah.
now. Um,
Yeah, I think that is perfect. And you know from the groups that we have plenty of people who are totally intuitive. They also have no interest in numbers because they have just figured as long as I fix what the food is, then I don't have to worry about the how much is what the macros or calories and all that. And then we have others in the group where they've been doing it a while and they're kind of stuck and need some troubleshooting. So how else would we do it, right? Let's figure out what are you doing now and how can we fix it? So I think it's great
absolutely.
that we have both.
Oh, and I will do that when I get to that point. If I think, okay, I'm not having any success here, I need to do this. I will absolutely do it. But if I don't have to right now, I'm not going to.
Well, my hope for
Um,
every single carnivore is that you never need to, that you can just eat enough. One of the biggest problems, and you know, because you hear me say it in the meetings all the time, is, and you've heard teammates say it in the meetings, I started tracking and it found out that I'm only eating 900 calories a day. And you're like, okay, well, thank goodness you tracked, because that's crazy. That
yes, it is.
that was never going to be me. I'm not that under eater, but don't we have a bunch of them?
Yes. Well, I mean, and when I was eating what my triathlon coaches were telling me to eat, obviously I was under eating too, but not only was I under eating, I was overeating carbs and, destroyed my metabolism. And you talk about that when you're talking about the TDEE. I mean, our bodies are smart. They okay, she's not feeding me enough. And they cut back to what they're burning And I mean, it's just that fearfully and wonderfully made thing. So,
It is. It's a survival thing. Your body is just trying to survive in the way it was created to do so. It will adjust
yeah.
to what we give it. And if we're only giving it tiny, tiny amounts of food, then it's going to struggle. RIP, healthy thyroid, right? But
Exactly.
also our metabolisms will slow down just so we don't die, because
Right.
it appears to be a famine. It appears to your body we are in a famine. So we better just preserve ourselves because we're in it for the long haul. And then meanwhile, they say, well, I did lose weight when I first started eating less. And you're like, yes, because that was an actual deficit. That was a calorie
Right.
cut. And now
Sure.
you've just exhausted that, and we've lived there for the last 10 years. You're not going to just keep losing. Yeah. So I'm thrilled when somebody says, I don't need to do any of that yet. But I also love when they're open to the idea. If I need to, I will. And I hope you
Yeah.
don't. I hope you just keep eating all those beautiful cows that have been blow dried.
Yes. Me too. That's the plan.
So coming back out of that cut and coming up to maintenance, preferably with an amazing diet where you're eating only fat and protein. Thank you, meat. Thank you, carnivore. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
increase calories slowly eating those foods, and especially if you're willing to move some muscles, lift some weights, overload your muscles, you can put on muscle in this process. That would be such a win. Then people can get out of this hole that they've dug for themselves, live at their maintenance calories for a while, let their metabolism adjust, speed up, feel better, sleep again, have some libido, right? Like fix the body. And then if they want to do a
Yeah.
calorie cut, sure, it's going to hit real different at this point with a working thyroid and some hormones online.
Yes. I was told that I had inverted cortisol. I was told, yeah, you have leaky gut. You're insulin resistant. And at the point when they told me insulin resistant, I didn't even know what that was. So I'm Googling it. You know how you fix, if you read how to fix insulin resistance, lift weights and exercise. And I'm going, are you joking me right now? I'm doing that and I have been. What is this mess?
So you're going
It
to get,
has to be the meat.
it has to be the food. Yeah, you were already doing the exercise. Okay, so you said you're going to get your insulin checked again soon. Is that right?
The 23rd, I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. Yeah. So do
I
you
want to see what all those numbers are.
I'm thrilled for you. You look great. You seem so happy and joyful. I'm just so happy that you don't have to run 20 hours a week, that you can eat food, that you're losing, not gaining, that you just seem peaceful and happy. And I'm so
Yes.
grateful you're willing to pass that on to other people. I frequently think about myself when I was trying so hard to run. This was college where I was eating fat-free everything, fat-free cereal, trying to limit what I ate. If I ate meat, it was going to be grilled chicken with fat-free dressing on the side of my grilled chicken salad. And then I would go out and try to run, and I couldn't stop gaining weight. And I thought for the rest of my life, if I just keep gaining, and I could put on weight so fast. I think I gained 50 during college. I didn't have a scale, but I'm telling you, I can look at pictures. It looks like easily 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And it feels like a death sentence. Like, well, this is what I'm going to have to do for the rest of my life to just gain. It it's really sad. So we're here to give
Right.
hope. Let's look them right in the camera here. We're here to give
Yes.
hope, friends, that it doesn't have to be that hard forever. It doesn't have to be that, you don't have to be this hungry forever. You don't have to be this tired forever. You can nourish yourself. And you could either just do that in the most basic, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and just start eating meat. And if you need some help with that, we have a lot of lovely folks who would love to step alongside of you. We have a private password protected group. We meet online face to face, right? Face to face for 1 hour per week. And it's just lovely to get to know people where you get it and you get
Yep.
it. Thank you so
Yep.
much,
And
Vanda.
they've been there and or they are there. And I feel like I want to tell everybody.
Well, thanks for doing that today. You're telling everybody. Yeah, I think grateful people who feel grateful for how far we've come to be out of that pain, out of that situation. We want to be around other people who are there and then bring other people into the boat with us, right? Come on. Come on. There's hope out.
Absolutely. We've got to bring people alongside us. So
Thank you, Vanda. I'll see
thank
you in the
you so,
group.
so much.
And for the rest of us,
Yes.
hope to see you back next Saturday. Bye.
Yes.